yeah.
they've had a lot of upheaval and injuries over there. But they were great at Wembley. You're right. Last news story, Canberra captain Elliot Whitehead has signed a new deal that will see him stay with the Raiders until at least the end of 2024. The 31-year-old forward, how's he only a year younger than Paella? You're right, that Paella age didn't feel right at all, did it? The 31-year-old forward has made 138 appearances for Canberra since his move down under ahead of the 2016 season and helped the Raiders to reach the NRL Grand Final back in 2019. So, thanks to, I think, Neil, we got a view in there. I know we've got some other news views that are stacking up that we'll talk about on next week's show, so do look out for the link on the episode blog post on superleaguepod.com and tell us your thoughts on the news as the week's going along. Shout out, of course, to our friends at BBC Sport Rugby League, TotalRL.com and LoveRugbyLeague.com, because we just go and get the headlines from those guys so that we can talk about them. So do go and give those guys your clicks. That's our abbreviated news for this week. We're going to move on to our abbreviated match reviews. Okay then. Super League round 16, or half a round 16 really, is what we're going to be reviewing here, and start with the one Wednesday night game, which was over at the Halliwell Jones. It finished Warrington 21, Wigan 8, after it being 12-8 to Warrington at half-time against the run of play. Robert Hicks was the referee. In terms of the stats, Wigan made more metres, more breaks and fewer errors, but they could not capitalise. The ground YMA was at a better average gain, and they did have a better team tackle success rate too. And of course, 3 tries to 2 and 4 goals to none kind of is why the scoreline was what it was. Individually, Darryl Clark with a try assist, 47 tackles, 10 marker tackles, 5 tackle busts and 111 metres, as well as 3 successful offloads. He did everything. Jake Mamo got a try, 5 tackle busts and 185 metres, courtesy of Robert Hicks. Sitaleki Akwala got 136 metres, playing out of position on the wing, and Chris Hill continues his resurgent form, 123 metres. Jackson Hastings, still at fullback, 7 tackle busts and 191 metres. Liam Farrell, 181 godlike metres from him. Ethan Havard, 48 tackles, 17 of which were marker tackles, but he seems to have done himself an injury that rules him out of Sunday's game. And Brad Singleton, 15 marker tackles and 135 metres, so sort of both ways by Big Brad. We did get plenty of fan views in on this game, Rob, so do you want to start by telling us the first one from the man who lives in the future?
Yep, from our friend Carsten. How can a team lead at half-time with a 44% completion rate and win with a 60% completion? Jake Malmo is still funny and really loved the crowd back. Well, the sport on the field is much better than the idiots administrating it.
Matt Speakman said, decent game right up until the point Hicks lost control of it by trying to be the hero as always. As poor as his performance was, there was no way we should have been losing at half-time. The reality is we're a bang-average team with an incredible player in Hastings. And Farrell, Matt, come on. We deserve to be mid-table, but there are so many dreadful teams in Super League.
Okay. EFU 78JU says that was some performance by the Wire this evening, but some of Rob Hicks' decisions I must disagree on, mostly the one against Liam Marshall, but I still will take 2 points. Josh Charnley will get graded for the contact with the head. I wonder how many games he will be banned for. Blake Austin is too good at slotting drop goals, and Mamo is too good at scoring against Wigan. If either's home and away, he does it.
Well, he only does it if we gift him the ball, but yeah, I don't think Charnley's going to get. No, you got 2 full stops, Rob. 3 full stops. That's amazing.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Is obviously started to click for our mate EFC, but no, I don't think Josh Charnley's going to get graded for the head contact or get a ban, because it was very much accidental, and we see accidental head high tackles all the time that don't get bans, don't we?
I mean, there was contact with the head with the foot.
Yeah.
It should have at the very least gone to the video ref. it was the video ref was Kendall, so God knows whether he would have disallowed it or not. But I don't think he'll get I don't think he'll get a ban for it. It was accidental.
It was accidental. If foul play, it was accidental. Fatboy Rob said, very good first half. Wigan could have and should have been in front. Second half was still decent. Nice to see the Pies get the arse end of the ref for once. I've been saying all season, Robert Hicks is wank. Do you still echo those comments?
Yeah, this not normally. I mean, he's one of the better referees normally, but this season he's just made poor decision after poor decision. I mean, look at that try that try give York at Wembley. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know what. Maybe he needs to, go to the sponsors and get his eyes tested out. I'm not sure. This season, he just seems to lose control. Every time I've seen him, he's lost control of the players at some stage as well, and that's what happens when you have consistently inconsistent refereeing.
See, I've always found Robert Hicks to be a little bit unpredictable and inconsistent, but I always, until maybe the Challenge Cup final against Warrington Saints, I always felt he made the right calls in the big moments. He always showed sort of almost, I don't know, some sort of composure in the big moments. In the flashpoints as well, I always thought he dealt with well. But you're right, there's been maybe a few big moments where he's messed up a little bit. But yeah. Ro Hayden said, Wigan played well in the first half, but I didn't like what happened in the second half about the try being awarded when Marshall was knocked out and then one of Warrington players tripped up a Wigan player. Wigan should have had a penalty or at least on report, so I hope that gets looked at. I am not happy. I tell you what, Ro, I was not in a good... My wife would tell you, I was not in a good shape after that game. I was few, even though I didn't think it would have changed the result. I don't think Wigan's attack is good enough to have scored enough points, but I was also very much not happy about how that matter was dealt with.
Okay. Always in our shadow. Doesn't matter how much profession you have, if you can't turn it into points, you're screwed. Wyatt far more clinical in the important moments. As for Mamo, it's one for all the Pies who thought Farge did the right thing.
Do you know what? I knew a Hull FC
no idea
fan,
what that means.
And I knew a Hull FC fan would get in touch on this topic, and it's probably aimed more at me because most Wigan fans would say Farge did the wrong thing because we hate St Helens. But when Farge picked up the ball after Josh Griffin did his Achilles and scored the try, he played to the whistle, and do you know what? You haven't let me down. Always in our shadow, and I'm pleased that you did it because it's cheered me up that there's some things I can rely on in this world.
Just for the record, always in our shadow. I agree with you. It was a shithouse move to score that try by Farge.
But the point is, I suppose, in both instances, the players played to the whistle. I've got no issue with Jake Mamo playing to the whistle. My issue is that the officials, one, missed the head contact. It's a high tackle, whether it's on the floor or not. It's high tackles are given for head contact now, especially direct head contact. And didn't go take the opportunity to go and look at the video ref to see the ball only came loose after there was the head contact. So, to me, the head contact has certainly contributed to, if not definitely caused, the knock-on, the drop ball. So the try wouldn't have existed without the foul play. And therefore, it should be ruled out.
It looked like there were a trip from Ratchford as well, which is, we would have probably looked at that as well, but whether Hastings would have caught him, I don't know.
And that's an interesting point, actually, because would they have assessed it on the basis of would Hastings have caught him, or would they have assessed it on the basis of Ratchford's being a dickhead there?
Maybe. I don't know. Well, who knows, because they just seem to make it up as they go along this season. But
they didn't check it, did they? So
no, they didn't. So it's irrelevant.
But thanks for making that point because I enjoyed it. The big difference was the injury to Farge to Griffin wasn't caused by Saints players, whereas the injury to Marshall was caused by a Warrington player, even if it was contributed to by a very shit Wigan attack to put him in that difficult position in the first place. Neil Ormston got in touch with one of his Wire milestone updates. Rob, he said, congrats to Steph Ratchford who moved above Laurie Skillfeder to 8th on Wire's all-time scoring chart, and Mike Cooper for his 200th appearance for his hometown club. To broaden the appeal of the milestone watch, it's worth noting that Adrian Laff has now extended his lead at the top of Super League's most eluded coach competition, with judges awarding him his 10th three-point performance of the season for his post-match interview. But Neil, it was disgraceful. He kicked him in the head. Neil also got in touch with his match review. He said, a rusty-looking performance by Wire after 3 weeks off. Wigan had enough ball on our line to win 4 games, but looked toothless in attack. Our defence was more than good enough. We really need Widow back, as the left edge looks lost without him. Much better atmosphere. Credit the Wigan fans for the part they played in that. Felt like this was the day Rugby League really returned. Just hope we can keep getting games on now. Hear to that last part, Neil, for sure.
Yeah. Did you not make it to the game on... were you not at the game this week?
No, I wasn't at the game this week. When tickets went on sale, my Uncle Liam had a bowls match, so didn't want to go. And to be honest, I didn't fancy the drive myself. I was kind of hoping he'd drive. Because I've had a really busy week at work. So yeah... In the end, we didn't go and watched it on the TV instead. And do you know what? About 10 minutes in, I was thinking, fuck, I should be there.
Yeah, there was a good atmosphere, wasn't there, to be honest. It was a lot fuller than I expected. And there were plenty of Wigan fans there to give it a decent atmosphere.
Yeah, and I guess the noise being, with the gantry being lower because of the making it open air for... for COVID sort of reasons, meant they were right on top of the busy Wire stand, wasn't it? So that helped as well. Meant that as a viewer, we felt more in the centre of the atmosphere, which I think was good. But like I say, after 10 minutes, I really wished I was there. In terms of the game itself, yeah, the main takeaway for me, more than Robert Hicks's refusal to have something checked that really needed to be checked, is that Wigan's attack was just not good enough. We scored a fantastic try, in fact 2 really good tries in the first half. Great hands from Oliver Gildart to set up Marshall's first, and what a kick from young Harry Smith to set up Marshall's second. Brilliant pieces of play, but Wire had limited attacks, and Wigan made a couple of mistakes and Wire pounced on them, whereas Wigan had loads of attacks. Wire didn't make too many mistakes, and Wigan couldn't force them into mistakes, and that's been the story all season. They keep talking about on the television about Wigan's lack of tries. You see it all over the internet as well. We're scoring, 3 tries a game on average, 16 points a game on average. It's not good enough to beat sides that have got quality players in them.
No, I mean, attack-wise, you've gone from having the 2 best fullbacks, not counting Evans, but 2 of the best 3 fullbacks in the league to having none, which puts Hastings at fullback, which means that you're lacking in the halves, aren't you? I know you've got young kids coming through, but you did look a bit toothless. You definitely needed a goal kicker as well, who normally kicks for you.
Well, Hardacre is the sort of starting goal kicker, but I think he was poor this year anyway. Before then, Harry Smith took over because Hardacre was poor. Took over, banged over a couple of goals from out wide in his first game where he took over midway through the game, and everyone was like, right, Harry Smith should be kicking. And then after Hardacre's been out, partly through his own stupidity and partly through this injury, then it's been Harry Smith having a nightmare. Harry Smith, I can't remember him being anything but a flawless kicker at the academy level. For some reason, whether it's the pressure, whether it's the stage that he's just not quite ready for in that god, or just because he lost his confidence from a few bad kicks. If that first kick had gone, 3 inches to the right and it had gone over from the touchline, we'd be looking at a very different goal kicker, I think. He just needs one of these ones that keeps fucking it in the post to go through the posts, and he'll get on a streak, I think. He is a really talented guy with his boots, but it's just the confidence is gone.
Yep, I agree.
Whereas Warrington, they did what they needed to do, really. I don't think they did anything impressive in the game. they outscored Wigan 3 tries to 2, didn't they? And Wigan scored the better tries, and Warrington scored tries off the back of Wigan giving him opportunities. Is the way I see it. But well done to Warrington for toughing out a win, because this is something that Warrington haven't done before, I feel. Do you think